Hello, this is Crowborn Chaos, and welcome back to another video. Now, before I get started on this video, a couple of things I need to get out of the way. First, this is about Aphmau the character, and not Jess. This is not about Jess. They are two different things. One's a real person, one's a character. Jess is not Aphmau, and Aphmau is not Jess. Alright? So, I have no hard feelings, I have no bad feelings to Jess, I commend her as a writer, and I don't judge her for what a fictional character does. It's just like how Jason and Aaron are not the same character. Jason isn't Aaron, Aaron's not Jason, and Jess is not Aphmau, and Aphmau's not Jess. She may voice actor, and it's one of her characters, but it's not her. Anyway, alright. Second of all, I will be covering both My Street and Minecraft Diaries Aphmau in the same video, which I haven't done for her, but it's more of because they bridge together too much. There's a lot of things to compare. But yeah, this is not meant. This video is not meant to say. Despite what I'm about to say in this video, I actually am I consider myself a fan of Aphmau. This is not meant to hate, but more of my thoughts, constructive criticism, and fact. It is mainly both opinions. There will be my opinion, but there will also be fact there as well. Let's get it off the table. Aphmau is a complete Mary Sue. She is definitely... She has many things going... I mean, yeah, she's the main character of the story, which is fine. You can be main character. That is fine to be main character of the story. But she has every boy like her unrealistically, and she is the center of all the girls seem to focus around her. It's one thing to have lots of friends. That's one thing, but it's also kind of strange because just because someone doesn't like you doesn't make them a bad person, and I feel like anybody in her series that doesn't like her is immediately registered as a bad person. That's a problem. A person does not have to like you, and not liking you does not make them a bad person. It's okay to have people who just don't like you, and they can be good characters too. It kind of rolls on other characters, but that's for another video. In My Street, she is probably the least real character out of them all. Even less real than Aaron. Than Aaron. Everything is just either deliberate. She's too perfect. And that's people are not. She is too perfect. Her problems resolve too easily. All these things she resolves she resolves everything a bit too well. Let's see, like the episode where she and Kai went out on a date. I abhorred that video. It was one of the worst. That video made me hate Garth and Lawrence because of how they were treating their girlfriends by fawning over Aphmau. That's how bad something is, if you can get me to. But it's also the one where Ian broke character. It's also the one where Aphmau was literally, oh, woe is me. it was an oh woe is me video for Aphmau the character. Just no. That video in particular, but the problems are not just in that video. Now, the Gar thing and Dill, that was mainly that Indian thing was Dill, but her being a broken character, it just didn't. Because the reason why it's just, she has to, everything that she has a perfect resolution to. Any problem she has a perfect resolution. And that is not real. Not everything gets resolved willy-nilly perfectly. That's just not how it works. All the other characters have, most of our other characters have problems, you know, and yeah, they have to deal with, like Travis and Caitlin, their problem didn't just vanish overnight, and that's good. But Aphmau's, 90% of every problem she has disappeared within 2 or 3 episodes. And she just moved on to the next. It's not dull. And then Aphmau in Minecraft Diaries started off pretty great. I actually enjoyed her character for the majority of the series up until the point of the time that she just went off and banged Darren in the forest. Following that, like that point on, her character took a dip in quality. She became much more of a Mary Sue. She became a bit too perfect. And, like, everything had a righteous message. Everything she did had a righteous message written to it, which was like, because it didn't start out that way. And all of a sudden it just became that way. And it's like, no, that's not why we're watching your videos. Yeah, I know what your demographic is, but you don't need every action you do to be a message or something. You're not a pastor. Don't try to preach to the children. And not only that, not everything she preaches is, well, correct. Most of it's half of it's very opinionated. And that's, don't preach your opinion. My opinion is just don't preach your opinion on something to someone else and present it to them like it's fact. It's just, I don't like it. Especially if you're writing a story, your point of your story is to tell the story, and to entertain the people, not to force your ideology onto who you're watching. At least not in this medium. This is meant to be a role play, a fun. This is not teach your kids at all. The other thing about Aphmau is just, I've actually begun skipping parts that involve Aphmau in her videos, in the roleplay videos. I still watch her other videos and I'm fine with it, but it's in her roleplay videos. I think the closest one to me not skipping hers, well, actually the ones I don't skip is probably her recent one, which is they're in college, where she's in college and stuff. I don't skip that because she's very tolerable. I can deal with that better. But like in My Street before the season finale, in My Street, I had to skip the parts with her just so I can get to Zane, Travis, Dill, because everything that she was doing was arm out, yada yada. Just I literally was skipping it and I wasn't missing anything. That's a problem. If I can skip parts of her videos and not miss anything, there's a problem. And I was skipping the arm out stuff and I wasn't missing anything. There wasn't anything I missed. Like, you kind of just knew what was generally happening. Yeah, I don't know details because I didn't watch, but I do know the general events until I kind of knew what exactly was going on. And you just, if you're writing, you should not be that predictable in writing, even if it's a love deal. But that's a different. That's my deal. And then I didn't skip her in my Minecraft Diaries. I didn't skip her until until later in the mid of the third season, because then she became preachy, and then I was like, no, it's just like I don't. It's just like her things with the lords and all that. It's like they weren't really the boy that was trying to marry Haley and his mother. I never really considered them threats because, hello, she has Irene in her. No, she is Irene. She has Irene's a part of her. She had the power. She literally single-handedly outpowers everybody in there. There was no way it was going to go any different. You kind of just saw it happen. It was like, what's the point? I mean, her character's just simply too powerful. There's no real threat. Her mother, the boy and her mother, Dill, you knew she was going to save Haley. You knew she was going to get free and get the wedding done. You knew there's no chance anybody could stop her. There in that whole arc with Haley and all that, there was no turmoil. Because you knew Aphmau could solve it like that so easily. She was just that powerful. She had nothing to rival her, and that's not a real plot. Not only that, she's done the stop. Don't. She's had how many? Let them get married. Stuff like that. Let's see. She's insane. Yeah, she's had several marriage things where, they had to try to prevent several weddings now. It's like she has something against weddings. There's something wrong with weddings. Yeah, she keeps preaching the only marry the people you actually love, but yeah, I get that. But that doesn't always happen, right? No, I get the message. Believe me, I get the message, but 3 times? You gotta hammer that 3 times in? Nah. But, yeah, Aphmau, the character of Aphmau, no, I don't like, she's too much of a Mary Sue. In PDH, Phoenix Drop High, I hated how she immediately had the werewolf, kind of took a possessive over her whole body of the werewolf. She's like, these are my pups. And that's weird. I hate how she just magically became the alpha. I mean, I get why they explained it in the story. That's all. And then also she started you do realize that in nature, the Omega exists for a purpose, right? That it's not just a social status. A pack cannot survive without an Omega. Literally. You think they need the Alpha, but they also need the Omega, because the pack will not last without an Omega. That's nature fact. Okay? And then, if you put that process into what she's done with the werewolves, she's technically screwed the werewolves by taking away the Omega, saying, oh, there shouldn't be any Omegas anymore. There's a different, it's less of a, yes, the Omega is, look, it doesn't have the same rank, but it's still part of the pack. And the Alpha will defend the Omega with his life. His or her life. Okay? Because the Omega is just the guy. The Omega has its place. The Omega can be a good warrior, one of the better hunters. The Omega, well, yeah, the Alpha is the bona fide best, but of the pack, the Omega can be one of the better hunters, fighters, support group. The Omega supports the pack. That is the mecha's job. Without that support, the pack can fall apart to infighting pretty fast. So her whole social status on that's kind of, I don't know. It's just I don't like how everything has to immediately. She puts too many possessive things on her, on others. Like, these are my pups. These are my boys. These are like my children, even though they're not her children. But Aphmau as a character is a bit too possessive. Um, it's like it sounds innocent enough, but it's also slyly elevating her into to a motherly or onward-looking position that she doesn't really need to be in. Now, when it comes to her own children, sure, but other people, I don't know. But despite that, when Aphmau's not being all that, I do like her character. I do like it when she's funny. I do laugh at her jokes. I do like her bubbly personality. Aphmau is, I do like, she's very friendly. She can get along with a lot of people, but and I do like I do like Aphmau, but only when she's not all of what I've said before. And that's just how things are. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I will redo the Travis one at some point. It's gonna take me a while because my phone and all, but yeah. Anyway, leave a comment below. Talk about your opinions on Aphmau. Give me your opinions on any other characters. And if you want to see more of this and have a question or want me to review another character in her series, just leave a comment and leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And I'll be all the happy to make another video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.